Alright guys, what is going on? We're here with the weekly pro wrestling wrap up. Week number 4, I believe. Whoa. My mic just fell. Holy crap. I don't know. I got this stand new whatever for, but it don't ever stand right, but whatever. We start off the show with some, I don't know if to call it sad news because I don't really know what's gonna happen. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about TNA having to move to the warehouse and they don't have any funds. And then I hear that there actually is an investor. He has actually already pumped funds into the Impact tapings they've already had. And then that there is a deal on the table, they just need to sign it. And that it will happen as Dixie Carter will give up majority share of Impact. If you want to keep Impact going, they better make that deal. That's the only thing I have to say about it. I mean, you want to say you wanted to keep it going, but you won't sign the deal. I'm hoping they've already signed the deal and they're just waiting to announce it. That makes sense. I don't know what's going to happen. But I hear the person who is actually trying to buy TNA majority share has not even ever been involved in wrestling. I think this is a good idea. Get a guy who's never been involved in wrestling and pump out the money as much as he can, because he don't know what the fuck he's doing. That makes perfect sense. So hopefully TNA is fine. Hopefully we don't have this conversation in about 3 months having to say that they're done. Now, they do have tapings coming up next week, and their new 5 signings will be there. So hopefully we'll have some new faces on Impact. And I don't know, we gotta jump. Right now we're gonna jump into the review for TNA. So it should be a good one. Alright, so Impact review for this week. Well, another thing I forgot to note is they lost their replay after the show. And everybody was like, why did they do that? They were getting like maybe 20k to 50k thousand extra views added onto the Impact ratings. Well, they actually moved that to Saturday. It means Saturday morning wrestling. Actually, I like that idea. And what they're saying is, they're reporting that Pop's doing that to kind of see if there's a market for another wrestling show. And what I'm thinking is they're going to bring Explosion, which Explosion's in the UK, it's in India, it's in Canada, it's in everywhere but the United States. We usually get one match on YouTube, on their YouTube channel every Friday. And so why not bring it to TV? So the spin cycle and the Explosion match could be on TV every week. That sounds great, yeah. So I think that's would be a great idea. So let's jump into the Impact review. We start off the show with Matt Hardy talking about how he wants the match with Jeff Hardy, and whoever wins is done with the Hardy name. And this made me think. I follow Matt Hardy on Twitter, and last month or a month before, he's had a tweet. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, which Hardy version would you like to see on TNA? And it had V1, it had Big Money Matt, then it had something else, and I'm like, this is sounding pretty weird. Then we jump to this, and this makes me think Matt Hardy's going to lose against Jeff Hardy and change to version 1 Matt. Hell yeah. Let's go. But, yeah. Jeff says, let's make this a tag team match. If you lose, it's Full Metal Mayhem. If you win, it's I Quit match. So, instead of jumping to where it is when they announce who's Jeff's tag team partner, it's Drew Galloway. So, that's already cleared up for when we get to the main event. Now, the first match was awesome. I'm sad that next week will be Beer Money's last match together as a tag team. We're sure going to have James Storm and TNA, but Bobby Roode's gone. Now, that match, it was an open invitation, open challenge for the TNA Tag Team Champions. Bromance came out, which was my favorite tag team right now in the world. And they've always been my favorite tag team. Let's clear the area right there. And then the Decay came out, who are still insanely awesome. And then Eric Young and Bram. Now, everybody was saying on Twitter that the best part of the matchup was how much Jesse Goddard's improved and how much the Bromans are awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been thinking they're awesome since day one. They've been together back when they first started their whole deal. I'm like, come on now, guys. But anyway, it was awesome. Jesse Goddard, he jumped up agility to the top rope, hit a Hurricane Rana, jumped up, hit the leaping forearm. I mean, he had the military press slam. I mean, it was pretty good. And now, how he won the match. Wait, first off, James Storm got on the Bruiser Cruiser, set up Bram on the chair on the stairs, rode around the ring on the Bruiser Cruiser, and ran into it, which I thought was pretty awesome. But how they won the match, how Beer Money won the match was, Bram was holding Robbie E, and Eric Young was just supposed to punch him, tag team double move. Well, Robbie gets out of the way, and Eric Young punches Bram. So here comes James Storm, last call super kick. It's over, 1, 2, 3. Now, saying that next week is Beer Money's last match in TNA, that was a good match. Hopefully next week versus the Decay. That's who I'm saying they're going to go against. Would be another really, really great matchup. That match was pretty good. Now we go to another part of the show, in which was the knockouts, the whole knockouts thing. Maria's been coming out saying she's the boss, she's leading the knockouts to a new era. And they're all coming up, they're all exploding, like all the knockouts they have, pretty much besides Cherry Bomb. When she'll be there, I don't know. I think it's next week. I think she actually appears next week, and then, whatever. That's what I heard. But they all come out, and here comes Billy Corgan saying, next week, a ladder match to decide who's the leader of the knockouts or something like that. I'm guessing they're putting the belt on the line. That'd make more sense, whoever gets the belt, whatever. So yeah, next week, a ladder match for the Knockouts Championship, or would you rather say the leader of the Knockouts division? Now that sounds amazing to add on what they already have next week. So the next matchup, which was the match of the night, better than the main event, better than the tag team match. We had Mike Bennett versus EC3, the match that everybody said should have happened at Slammiversary. But to me, how they did it was, I'm thinking they're setting up for that match Tuesday night. They're going to build to another match on Slammiversary. Then they're going to all have it culminate to a match at Bound for Glory, in which I think will be for the for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So people complaining that it should have been on Slammiversary. I think it's going to be on Slammiversary again too. I think this is going to be a long feud, and I think that's going to be good for TNA for sure. Now, the match was insane. Yeah, they really showed why they are the two biggest stars in TNA, along with, of course, Drew Galloway and Matt and Jeff. Now, EC3, he is so over. Like, usually when they Impact's in Orlando, like last year, the matches were not as good as this year so far, and you could literally hear a pin drop in the background. And now this year, they were totally over for EC3. They were chanting against Mike Bennett. It really was an awesome crowd. And now this match was awesome, like I said. EC3 had Mike Bennett beat 3 times, and Mike Bennett kept finding a way to get out of it, right? And then all of a sudden, EC3 gets pissed, grabs a chair, and started beating the shit out of Mike Bennett. And at one point, which I thought was pretty cool, Mike Bennett hit one of the craziest looking spine busters on EC3 ever. I would love to see this match again. I'm not going to be able to get Slammiversary because I ain't got the money, but it sounds like it's going to be insane if they really do have this match again at Slammiversary. Okay, so now for the next match, in which I don't know where this feud is going, but I think I might like it. So David Richards, Eddie Edwards, David Richards already ended, was seen in the back holding his shoulder, and he was supposed to have a match with Charlie for the X Division Championship. And we come to the ring, and Shane Helms is like, well, since we have an opponent, bring someone out. It's that young guard, DJZ, which is a former part of the Bromans. Come back to the Bromans, please, sir. Come on now. But they had a great match. It was only about 3 minutes. So they didn't have enough time. I wish they'd have given him a little bit more time. But the EC3 and Mike Bennett really was a long match, and it was really good. So DJZ wins with a roll-up. And here comes Greg Helms pissed, about to hit his finishing move, which I think he used to use when he was Hurricane. That spin around elbow thingy, but here comes Eddie Edwards and breaks it up. And so that sets up a match for next week. Along with the ladder match, it is the triple threat match for the X Division Championship with DJZ, Eddie Edwards, and Trevor Lee. Along with the ladder match, next week is building up to be a pretty good matchup. Now, then we go to Jade versus Madison Rayne for the Knockouts Championship. Jade wins, retains her title. That's as much as I want to say about it because I honestly didn't watch that match. I don't know why I didn't, but I honestly didn't watch that match. I had something to do, I guess. I don't remember what happened. But Jade wins. I saw the ending part. Her finisher is kind of like an STO leg sweep, and that's all I really saw. Now we build up to our main event. I think that was it. 2 hours, guys. 2 hours is a good thing, not 3 hours like Raw, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the main event, Drew Galloway and Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy and EC3. Matt Hardy and wait, I forget what happened. Wow, I'm pretty dumb. Matt Hardy and Tyrus win, which sets up an I Quit match for next week. And then Lashley comes out and beats the shit out of Drew Galloway, setting up probably a future match between him and Drew Galloway for the World Heavyweight Championship, which makes sense. And that's pretty much going to do it for this week's Impact review. It was great. I'm hoping that TNA finds that investor, that deal can happen, and we can continue to talk about the TNA Impact review for further episodes. And now we're going to jump on into Raw, and which was pretty crazy night. And I had a lot of good things about it, a lot of bad things about it. So, let's get into that. Alright, guys. So you obviously, what's on the screen? You obviously know what happened. We'll get to that. Well, this Raw, I just want to talk about my favorite parts. I'm not going to talk about parts I didn't like. So if you see, and if you remember some stuff on Raw that I'm not talking about, I'm sorry, I'm only talking about the parts that I really cared about. Now, the first part. Cesaro versus Kevin Owens was fucking awesome. Cesaro wins, and he is facing Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at Payback. Sounds pretty great. The match was awesome, like I said. Shane McMahon. This is what I'm talking about. Shane McMahon lost to The Undertaker. I'm not mad that Shane's on Raw, but this is what makes no sense. They built the WrestleMania match. Shane loses. He does not get control of Raw. Undertaker wins. The authority's back on Raw. But Shane McMahon's been on Raw for 2 fucking straight weeks. The match now makes no sense. The match now, I don't even understand why they even had the match. So, whatever, it makes no sense to me. So, clap, yay, like, what the fuck? I don't know. It was still awesome to have Shane on Raw. He was making some great matches, great stuff. But just the fact that, why did they even have the match at WrestleMania if none of the things they said was supposed to happen, happened? Shane lost. He's not supposed to be on Raw. But yet, I get why he was on Raw the first time. That made sense. But the second time? Just get out of here. That was a terrible decision. The match, y'all know what I'm talking about. So, Apollo Crews versus, I don't know if he had a match. Yeah, it was Apollo Crews versus Adam Rose. And now, which Adam Rose just got suspended along with Connor for their second violation of the wellness policy. And that suspends them for 60 days. In which, good thing the Ascension already lost to Big Cass and Enzo on SmackDown because Connor's gone. No more Ascension. I don't know what's going to happen to Social Outcast with Adam Rose gone. It fucks all of them up, dude. I don't really know, but Apollo Crews wins, which another impressive. I don't think the crowd was really over on him this week. Last week he came out and the fans were screaming, going crazy, and this week not really much of that. But I don't know. Now this week, another part that I like was Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. If Sami Zayn won, Sami Zayn was put into a match with Roman Reigns for a triple threat match. AJ Styles wins, and I'm fine with that. I think AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns single would be amazing. And now this is where the Bullet Club comes in. So the Bullet Club appears and beats the shit out of the Usos. Why didn't they beat the shit out of the New Day? Because the New Day and Bullet Club have been going back and forth on their YouTube and on Twitter all the whole time. Makes no sense. But that's basically with the elite of the Bullet Club, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, not Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows. But, I think they're going to feud later on. Makes sense. So, not big surprise. It wasn't really honestly a big surprise. Everybody knew they were coming. It's just the point of where they showed up. I figured they were going to show up. after AJ lost and beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. But from what I hear, AJ Styles is not going to be in the Bullet Club on WWE. That's what I've heard. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, what's the decision on that? Because he was in there in New Japan. Why not keep him on there and eventually get him with the world title with the Bullet Club back? And it makes sense, right? Yeah, I know. But we got a new rivalry: Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. And you know how great that sounds? I love it. Oh my gosh. We go from seeing Chris Jericho and AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar to having those two feud. And I think that just like the way Brock Lesnar's match he had, Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar, this is going to push Dean Ambrose's character and stuff just to new levels. I really think that it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm so ready for that matchup. And then the main event was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns versus League of Nations, Sheamus, and Alberto Del Rio. And that Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns wins, which was a good match. It's my favorite part of the match. I don't care what anybody says. It was the ending. And Bray Wyatt was pinning, I think it was like Alberto Del Rio. And here comes Sheamus. And Bray Wyatt points over there and fucking Roman Reigns spears him. All Bray Wyatt did was just point. Boom, spear. It was pretty funny. But sadly, we hear this week that Bray Wyatt is now injured, which is pretty sad to add on to who's already injured. We've got one guy back in Antonio Cesaro. It's just Cesaro now, my bad. They took the first name away. But it's pretty sad that that Bray Wyatt's injured. What's going to happen with the Wyatt family? We just saw Luke Harper get injured. Now we see Bray Wyatt get injured. Is Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan going to the tag team division? And I think that'd be a great idea, but I don't know. That's pretty terrible. And then if we hear that, I've heard that AJ Styles got a minor injury. Is he going to be able for payback? I think he is because it's a minor injury, but just to hear that, I'm like, Jesus Christ. WWE's had a curse around them right now with all these injuries. It's so sad. Like, I don't know what's going to be Raw next week if these two guys are really injured. John Cena came back at WrestleMania, but he has not been on Raw yet. Is he really healthy? I don't know. It's crazy. Man, it is really crazy. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm hoping everybody comes back healthy by SummerSlam. So, that's my Raw review wrap up. I didn't really watch much of it, because I don't really like watching 3 hours of it. Like I said, I want it back to 2 hours. I really do. And I don't know when they're going to do that. SmackDown, we saw Enzo Amore and Big Cass advance. So we see the Vaudevillains in the tag team tournament. So, and I think the Dudley Boys have two. Golden Truth, I think, is going to be on Raw for their first tag team appearance. That should be pretty cool. But, that's my Raw wrap up this week. Oh, there's a bird. Fuck birds, I'm scared of them, actually. But, let's get away from that before I say anything else retarded. But, we're going to go into our ROH review for this week. Yeah, it's back, baby. Alright, time for Honor Rising. The ROH review for when I watch it. It's Saturday night, so last night was the 16th. So, yes, you obviously see the new ROH television champion. We have to get to that match because that match was my favorite match of the whole week in wrestling. That match was fucking awesome. But the first matchup was Taguchi, the Funky Weapon, and the Flamingo in Dalton Castle versus Jushin Thunder Liger and Reborn Matt Sydal, formerly known as Evan Bourne. Holy crap, that match was a good way to start out Ring of Honor this week. If you're not familiar with New Japan, I've been thinking about bringing it to our weekly wrestling wrap-up. I watch it every week. It's pretty good. But I was thinking actually bring it out this week, but since we had to see New Japan stars in Ring of Honor, there's no reason to really do it, I guess. But, which actually Nakamura was on New Japan this week, and he was on NXT. I got to see Double Dose. Is pretty cool. We didn't talk about NXT, but we're on ROH right now. Matt Sydal wins, and Jushin Thunder Liger win. I'm mad about that. I wanted the Funky Weapon and the Flamingo, Dalton Castle, to win, in which Dalton Castle had different boys. the people who fan him and everything. It was not the normal guys we see. It was two Japanese guys. The match is still awesome. I love Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle is the next guy in Ring of Honor. I really do see him in like 4 or 5 months being the Ring of Honor champion. I don't care what anybody says. The dude's got talent. The dude's got charisma. The dude can work on the mic. He can do everything. Jushin Liger, I don't care how old the dude gets. He's never going to stop wrestling. I don't really know. Unless he's going to pass it down to somebody. The Jushin Thunder Liger name. The coolest part, I think, the whole matchup was when Dalton Castle deadlifts Matt Sydal over the... Matt Sydal was on the apron, on the other side of the ropes. Here comes Dalton Castle, deadlift into a German suplex. Holy crap, what a move. But Matt Sydal wins with a shooting star press, and it was pretty cool. Which we saw Liger jump off the freaking apron on Taguchi on the outside. In which, if you don't know what I'm talking about by Funky Weapon, he uses his butt in every move. And it gets funny. The funny part of the match was Dalton Castle threw him on the Matt Sydal with his butt. That was pretty funny. But the next match was Delirious, his Ring of Honor television debut. He's been with the company since the beginning, they said, and he's never been on television. I've seen him before on their YouTube channel, having a couple matches a long time ago, but I mean, it was awesome. That match between Gato and Delirious, in which Delirious is fucking crazy. He looked at the camera and said, eggplant, cheeseburger. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, the dude speaks gibberish or whatever. But him and Gato will a good match too. Gato is so old. I think they said he started wrestling in like the 80s and he's still fucking wrestling. Holy shit. But Delirious wins with a roll-up pin. And it was a good match. I hope we see Delirious more because he's funny. And he can actually really wrestle really good. But now we get to talk about the best match of the whole week. Ishii versus Roderick Strong for the television championship. And I mean, they call him the Stone Pit Bull for a freaking reason. He is my favorite in New Japan. I watch him in New Japan, every time he's in New Japan on Access TV. I watch him, and I've always liked him since I've seen him. Up against one of my favorite in ROH. Now, if it had been Adam Cole versus Ishii, I'd have went crazy. But this match was insane. Freaking Ishii, I swear, he's like almost probably 300 pounds, almost 250, 260. He's on the apron, and Roddy sweeps the legs to make him fall face first. Instead, in air, after he grabs him, throws him back on the apron, then grabs him, throws him on the freaking guardrail. Holy crap. And Ishii didn't care. And then they get in the ring, and they're trading punches. And Ishii's ramming his head into all of Roderick Strong's hits because he's just not fucking doing anything with his Stone Pit Bull. And then, Roderick Strong hits him with a chop, and he spits at Roderick Strong. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna die. And then Roderick Strong, off the top rope, hits him with a vertical suplex. Still holding on to him when he gets to the ground. Hits him with a fucking his backbreaker. He's a messiah, the backbreaker and all. Then hits him with a sitting kick, and Ishii still kicked out. I'm like, oh my god, this dude's amazing. And then Ishii hits him with the two nasty looking clotheslines. Oh my god. Hits him with a running clothesline. Hits him with a power bomb, and Roderick Strong is still kicking out. I mean, this is wrestling, guys. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not watching ROH, you've got to freaking watch it. I mean, Ishii wins. He's the new ROH television champion. I'm happy for this. But what's going to happen with Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish? Now, I've seen on the internet. Yeah, I just went to Google, and I usually look up ROH TNA to be every week just because we don't have nothing to do. And I seen that it's going to be Bobby Fish, Ishii, and Roderick Strong. Oh my god, I will try to find me some money and pay for that shit to watch it on pay-per-view. I really will. But, this week in wrestling was awesome. Sad news for TNA, but I'm hoping they sign the contract with that guy who wants to buy majority shares. ROH was good. Bullet Club's in WWE now. And like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think of the show. What was your favorite match of the week? And I am out.